watching Minus 26. I'm Paula, Jasper. Today we're in Gaylord with the Gaylord Eye Care Center. Joining me is Office Manager Cami Knope. Thanks for joining me, Cami.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Now we're going to talk about glasses today.
Okay.
First, let's touch on the lenses. What kind of different materials are there for lenses?
Well, there are several different types of materials. The ones we use the most are polycarbonate and Trivex. Glass is kind of a thing of the past. It's heavy. It breaks more easily. It's just not as safe. And plastic, plastic doesn't have any extra properties in it that are going to help you a lot. It's not going to be the thinner, lightest lens you can get. It's not going to be impact resistant. So polycarbonate and Trivex are what we use the most.
Now, do all the materials fit in most frames?
Most of the frames, yes. Anybody that's going with a rimless frame, you definitely want to go with a polycarbonate or a Trivex material because it has to be edged so that, let me just show you a frame here. Whoops. It's got to be edged so that there's a little groove cut right in here so that a string can fit in. So anytime that's happening, you want to make sure that you're using the best material for it, something that's impact resistant and you're not going to get chipping. If you use a plastic material, there's always a chance of chipping around here. So we try to avoid that as much as possible.
Okay, tell us about the different options that you have for the lenses, the coatings.
We always recommend patients to get a non-glare treatment on their glasses. That's going to give them their best possible vision. It's what the doctor has on his lenses when he's doing the exam in the back. So you're going to get more light coming through your lens, so things are going to be sharper and clearer for you. And when somebody's looking at your glasses, they're not going to see those reflections reflected back at them. Also, it's going to help with glare from computers, overhead lights. A lot of people work under fluorescence. So it's going to help with that as well.
What about transition lessons?
Transition lenses are very nice. A lot of people really like them. There's something that's going to darken for you when you go outside. So it's going to give you the comfort and it's going to give you ultraviolet protection also. So with transitions, now there are several different options. There's the Transition Extra Active, which is going to darken for you inside of the car. So behind the wheel a little bit, you're going to get some sun protection. There's the Transition Vantage, which is also going to darken and it's going to polarize for you. So if you're a fisherman or somebody that's outdoors a lot and you want that polarized option, that's going to be there with the Vantage. Then the regular Transition 7, which will darken for you, comes in 3 different colors. You can darken to a gray, a brown, or the new graphite green.
Okay, tell us about bifocal options.
Well, bifocals have been around forever. So the standard lined bifocals are now becoming a thing of the past because if you were getting bifocals, you don't want to look like you're wearing bifocals. So a lot of the patients now are preferring to go with a progressive lens. So it's going to give you a smoother transition from distance to near. So rather than a bifocal where you had that line on the lens, you're going to have a slow transition from distance to near, so you're going to get all your arm's length distances in there as well. So you'll be able to see clearly at every distance.
Is that easier to get used to?
For most patients it is, especially if you're going into bifocals for the first time and you're going straight into a progressive. It's easier to adjust to that than to go to a standard bifocal and then go back and forth.
Okay. Now let's talk frames. How does someone narrow it down?
You're going to want to look at your prescription. So you want to find a frame that's going to fit your face and also fit your prescription. So a lot of times people with higher prescriptions, you want to go with a little bit smaller frame because it's going to maybe reduce some of the thickness of the lenses. So also you're going to want to look at what fits your style. Are you conservative? Are you fun and funky? What fits your personality?
Now, I know styles change a lot. What's hot right now?
A lot of the plastic frames are in. The big, chunky, the kids all like those. And so I think a lot of them are going into that again.
They're really a fashion accessory, aren't they?
They are. And everybody says what is old comes back around again. So now we're starting to see some of the bigger frame styles come back into play that were here back in the 70s. We're not quite that big yet, but it's starting to turn in that direction again, I think.
Thanks for joining me, Cami.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Paula, Jasper, Minus 26 in Gaylord.